Hey, what's up, guys? This is Hova, and this is Yahweh, the Yahweh book, the Book of Knowledge, the Keys of Enoch, Part 2. And just a disclaimer, if you didn't watch my first video, some of the terminology in this is pretty weird and hard to comprehend. I will do an interpretation and thoughts after. Here we go. So this was channeled in the 70s, J.J. Hurtak. It's a beautiful book. Changed my life. Hopefully it changes yours, especially if you consider yourself a light worker and on the path of ascension. Okay, here we go. This is the image that comes with this one. The keys to the living biophysical and astrophysical universe are the living light pyramids of life existing within every structure, within every field of creation. Enoch is telling us that each level of evolution has a pyramid of light through which the human creation must pass on its way into the greater creation. If we are to go beyond our three-dimensional set of creation, we must go through our three-dimensional field of energy into a multi-dimensional field of pyramidal light energy. Therefore, each pyramid of light is energized with Yahweh's eye in the center of the pyramid. This is a cosmological constant which enables every realm of intelligence to be reprogrammed into a higher level of creation when they can go through the pyramidal energy field of creation. Thus the pyramid, the eternal programming of Yahweh's eye, is there with you at all times and is working with every level of evolution. Okay, I'm just going to do a brief interjection. A lot of people refer to the all-seeing eye. One of my first visions was seeing an eye that kind of blossomed fractally out. The eye is the witness. The eye is it represents the creator, the all-seeing eye. And pyramids are very interesting, like as far as like the qualities and properties of them. I mean, we have them in several places on the planet with crazy alignments and stuff. And the energy structure of a pyramid is actually very interesting. The Merkaba is two pyramids, kind of flipped on itself, I think, is a pyramids. But anyway, so this chapter gets a little bit more scientific as we go on, and kind of hard to comprehend, so I'll try and read slow, but it's pretty interesting, and just hearing it kind of triggers something in my memory, so I'll stop with my commentary. Okay. If you look at platinum crystal under a field ion microscope, you see bubble formations which form pyramid shapes of light going from every stage of geometry all the way through the immediate field of the crystal. If you look at blood crystals under an electron microscope, you can find the shape of pyramidal field in the crystal forms of blood. What you're seeing is the Merkaba, which connects the key pyramids so that the light can be used in unfolding the next stage of evolution. The key of Enoch is telling us that the biophysical relationships which exist in all life processes, from the smallest hydrogen atom to the largest quasi-stellar formation, are eventually going to prove that the pyramid of light is the central geometric form of all biophysical and consciousness evolution. The pyramid shows us that the universal mind is all present, not only in every molecule of star ionization, but in every vibration of consciousness flow. Wherever you look, you're going to find that the consciousness flow is going to go in that universal constant. A close examination of the pyramidal units in hydrogen atoms will further reveal the geometry of a Star of David as a life-giving form. In consequence, the hydrogen atom holds the clue to the hydrogen matrix, which makes up the present spin orientation of our evolutionary network. Once again, astronomers will understand why the ancients saw the pyramid as the gateway to the stars and the form through which star intelligences come to serve human creation. Once again, man will understand how the geometries of the pyramid fuse space, time, and matter to form the ideal focus for star energy transmission. Enoch explained how the Brotherhood of Light established pyramids on certain planets in the solar system in relationship to Saturn. The key to the planetary table and density levels of other forms of intelligence operating within our solar system, frequently in different ranges of electromagnetic spectrum. These pyramids are built in a grid formation and are connected to chronometers which measure the vibratory levels of consciousness on a given planet in units of 1,000 years. They determine when successive consciousness worlds can accept physical extraterrestrial guides which nurture God level 0 growth to God level 1 status, thus completing the pyramids at God level 1 status. This growth can occur many times using the same planetary sphere to involve many species for existence in innumerable worlds. It's hard to think of, but there are other types of life occurring on our planet, inhabiting the same space, maybe not necessarily the space at the same time, or physical, perceptible space, but there are multiple levels of reality unfolding in any given space at any given time, not all of which are aware of each other. Okay. Pyramidal grids of information were established on Mars, for example, for use by artificial intelligence. They were built for the gathering of information deciphered from the magnetic lines of force attuned with thinking servo mechanisms or computers existing in our solar system. These pyramids were established in grid formation so that the artificial intelligence of the vehicle, through stimulated emissions of radiation, could gather all information through short electromagnetic wave amplification. The maser grids, established in units of 18, 9 are A-line controls and 9 are B-line controls, connected with non-planetary Pyramid 5 formation, which is the central model for information processing. The pyramids are both 3-sided and 4-sided. That's showing this picture of Mars. Okay. This part's really thick. But power through, it clicks stuff. The grids collect knowledge about the complete range of subsystems, biomes, ecosystems, geological and evolutionary information, knowledge of energy working through all manifestations of physical form. For example, the grids measure energy as order and disorder transmitted through the crystal structure and sunlight, calculating all astronomical forces passing through the interplanetary crystalline network. The greater pyramids on Mars cover 10 times the area used by the co-creators in establishing the major pyramidal grid at Giza, and 5 times the area of the major pyramidal grid established in China during previous evolutionary cycles. Human intelligence must be initiated into the pyramidal functions of light before they can be advanced to the next ordering of evolution, the next consciousness time cell. So what a consciousness time cell to me means is, you know how when you're having a conversation with someone, it's really deep and you couldn't say how much time had passed maybe? The time flows different when you're invested, right? Or when you're driving to work, time flows different, right? So take that back a couple steps and make it a little more macro. The way our consciousness as humans in this era of humanity with our internet and stuff is processing time, it's different than the humans who were maybe in the 1820s process time, right? They maybe had less events in the same amount of years as we do in maybe 2 years or 1 year or even a week with some people. And so the amount of life, the length maybe was different, but I'm saying the way we actually process and cognate the time. People maybe had better memories back in the day because there were less events, less information they were processing. We process a lot of information every day because we're just chowing down on social media, and I think it impacts the way our time is processed. So consciousness time zone is even broader than that. We could say that since maybe Jesus, or anyway, a time zone is just if you were to fly from our time zone here, I'm in Utah, Mountain Standard Time, from our time zone where we process information like this, in this way, and we were to fly to, let's say, Europe, the area, the time of day, it's different, right, in that time zone, and it would take a minute to adjust. Time isn't linear in the broader scheme of things, and maybe I'm getting a little convoluted, but I hope that helps someone. Okay. Man will then see he is co-citizen and co-participant of star kingdoms which are part of a cosmic pyramid, which is surrounded by crystalline spheres separating the universe from other universes. Use this other thing. Take a second, drink it in. Okay, let's see. We will then see that our human creation is part of the greater creation which seeds its life codes by crystal invagination into cycles of starfield creation. Before this can take place, the human evolution must be educated to understand the presence of the Merkaba, which is the key to engendering a whole new starseed creation. Enoch showed me how the mystery of the pyramid and the Sphinx were directly revealed in the landing of the Merkaba. If you don't know what a Merkaba is, look it up. It's very interesting, and you have one. As the manifestation of the wheel within the wheel, which I witnessed as it opened up and became one pulsating center of light technology in the shape of a pyramid, the Sphinx symbolically represents the face of a thinking spiritual intelligence which can move in and out of our solar spectrum, and show us how we can leave behind our solar evolution, the lion, and become one with these sons of light. These spiritual vehicles of light will once again come down into the communities of righteous, which are in special grid areas of spiritual vibration throughout the world. These grids contain the pyramidal light patterns that will receive the vehicle, which will come as the capstone of light, activating these centers of light consciousness. I know it's thick. It starts to make sense, I promise. This is the process of transforming the human evolution to co-participate with the higher evolution. This process of transformation is directed through a proper pyramidal frequencies of light and balanced by the energies of the Shekinah universe. The Shekinah universe is the body substratum which allows this world to be transmuted into the higher worlds from its most intricate parts. The Shekinah is also a way to refer to the face of God as it would appear to the high priest in the Judaic tradition. Thus, the Shekinah universe transforms the basic building blocks of intelligence out of the sea of the eternal to go into the presence of the Father. The Shekinah universe is the substratum for the universe of the Sun. The Sun universe consists, like SON, the Sun universe consists of programs of creation and evolution directed by the Paradise Suns spanning different life combinations of intelligence from the gross material to the pure light. The Sun universes gather the collective manifestations of the gross material worlds that have been purified to be offered up to the Father. The Father universes consist of universes each having a creator God who sustains the eternal unfoldings of the divine thought forms. The Father universes evolve the celestial architecture of the location of the thrones and dominions, the seats of government. The seats of government dispatch the commissions of the Paradise Suns and the Elohim Lords of Light for the creation of worlds in the lower heavens, which is where we're at, and it is only by the order of the Father universes through the magistrates who sit on the councils of the thrones and dominions that the fallen Paradise Suns and fallen angelic hierarchies can be redeemed. We are in a fallen aspect of space. Enoch explained to me that as the universe expands through the celestial architecture, programmed intelligence takes the assignment of coming out of the higher networks. That's gross. Higher networks of intelligence to work with the intelligence of a given population one life system. Whereupon he showed me a picture of how the center of our galaxy unfolds through the opening up of spiral arms as star fields cool off with their Earth systems in between. A higher evolution is able to program intelligence onto these newborn planets. Again, as the galaxy population one life systems is expanded, sun systems cool off, the right chemical environment forms, and the starseed is planted. That makes sense to me. When the evolution reaches the next initiation point of its wavelength of light, new wavelengths of light can be projected through triangular coordinates. Through this process, the brotherhoods of higher population 2 life systems continually perfect the programs of all interplanetary creations on this side. In order to put man into the pyramidal blocks of pyramidal geometries, triangular coordinates of the pyramids of light, we have this key in the consciousness of light. Centropy is the electrification of matter, specifically in a material function, light being the highest amplification of centropy. In our mind, light functions by quasars, or microwave amplification by stimulated emissions of radiation. This is projected through photoneurons, which are quantum mechanistic corpuscles of light working by means of photon amplification. All photons are in step, that is, they are reinforced in the same frequency which modulates mental energy into physical energy. Now, essentially, this knowledge can be used to find the formula which will explain how light creates the quanta, corpuscles of light in the brain, allowing the brain to work as it does like a computer. With this explanation, man can see how his consciousness mind receives continuous communication within his brain from all forms of consciousness relativity in our consciousness zone, which pulsate thought forms through a thinking light cell by photon amplification of light crystals. Enoch explained that this consciousness process, I'm almost done, is continually going on as a flow paradigm of consciousness light within our physical galactic system. In order to break this matter-energy construct, we must understand the following words of Enoch. Thermodynamic properties of non-stationary sources which subordinate models of the thermodynamic systems with negative temperature can exceed the concentration of radiated energy because of the inversion of electrons placed on various energetic levels, the holes of which are orientated by the opposite phase. Such systems possess the potential of Maillard excitation, and they distinguish themselves by a non-linear character, which is the creative spiraling of energy through the dependence of energy on entropy. Let's stop there, because I think my neighbors are knocking. But that's part 1, and I'll be back with part 2, and then a breakdown. Some of it just kind of makes sense to me intuitively, but I'm going to ask Creator to help guide me and maybe reframing some of it in layman terms, because when I think about consciously what the words mean, I'm like, what the hell? But on some level of me, it like clicks something and I see images, so maybe you're having that experience too. But anyway, thanks for your time, thanks for checking in. My name's Hova. I believe in miracles, I believe in Yahweh, and I believe in planetary ascension, and I believe in all of you. Okay, love and light. Good night.